Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Harry and David Field in beautiful Medford, Oregon, as today we get ready to bring you Roseburg High School baseball as the Indians take on the South Medford Panthers. It's a Southwest Conference matchup as we look to wrap things up with this season's series. Roseburg has already won 2 against the Panthers, looking to take the season sweep. Good afternoon, everybody. Joey Keyran back with you. It feels like it's been a little bit as we had the weekend off. No games on Saturday as usually scheduled. Roseburg gets a weekend between their 2 conference games, plus a day, as yesterday we got postponed due to some poor weather to start out the day here in Medford and a technical glitch with their watering system. But things are dried out, and it is a beautiful day in Medford, and we're ready to play some baseball. We've got plenty coming up for you here during the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. In just a moment, we're going to get a chance to talk with head coach Troy Thompson about how the team spent a little bit of their downtime here in the last week. We'll have that for you when we come back. Before we take our break, want to remind you today's game is streaming live with video online at 541radio.com, where you can watch today's action streaming for free. You can also check it out on our YouTube channel. Search 1490 The Score. Live video coverage is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Back after a 2-minute timeout on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Working from a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to, by hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations, top of the hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors, at home or on the road, at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
Back here with more of our Roseburg Disposal pregame show. Let them make the run to the dump for you. Give them a call at 673-7122. Roseburg back at it after a weekend off, and they are back into conference play with a big test today against the reigning conference champions, South Medford, on the road at Harry and David Field. Joining us is head coach Troy Thompson. Coach, a little bit of extra time for you guys here in the middle of the season. It's always nice to maybe get that little bit of a break, get a chance to take a breather, and maybe get a chance to focus a little bit more heavily on some things in practice that you've been seeing as you guys make your way through. How'd you guys spend the a little bit of extra time with that Saturday off over the last weekend?
Well, we had some good practices last week and came back into it this week with another good couple of days here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play yesterday on a Tuesday, but we're here today and the field looks great. They've done a lot of work to get it ready with their sprinkler malfunction they had earlier this week. So the weather's helping us right now. So we had a good week of practice and they got an extra day off. So hopefully that all plays well for us here today. We should be rested and ready to go here today.
You know, you guys are coming off of a nice win against Grants Pass last week, and this team just kind of trying to build some momentum. I think we talked about after that game against Grants Pass that, you know, getting this ball rolling and getting things kind of moving in the right direction. You always want to be playing some of your best baseball at this time of the year. How do you feel like are the guys feeling comfortable as they're getting to this point in the season?
You know, I sure hope so. You know, they spent a lot of time in our game schedule, of course, and of course our practice schedule as well. So we put a lot of time in and a lot of effort by our players, and we're anxious to get going again. It feels like we haven't played for a while, so it'll be nice to get back out there today. But a tough test here, like you said, on the road at South Medford, who's another very quality opponent here in our league. And they'll be ready to go, I'm sure. So I'm hopeful that we'll come out and have a great opportunity here to get after the game and in turn get after some positive results.
You know, I know that prom was over the weekend, and that's nice. And it was nice to maybe be able to have a little extra time for the guys to be able to enjoy that and not have to worry about the game. But did you notice them kind of get locked back in after a fun weekend, a weekend off from baseball, a little extra time? Like you said, feels like it's been forever. You feel them locked in at practice the last couple of days?
We've had good practices the last several days from going back to last week as well. So the kids have done a great job with that all year. When it's baseball time, they're there for baseball, and they do a good job of working on what we're trying to work on and improve on. So they've continued to do that here this past week. But, yeah, the extra day, like I said, was nice. And to get through the weekend like we did, I think, you know, we're in a good spot. Unfortunately, you know, we have an injury we got to work through, and you know, we'll do our best with that and hopefully get a positive outcome when he's ready to return. So, you know, there are some challenges like there always are. It's never easy for anybody. I'm sure everybody in the league and in the state at this point has had to work through that. So we'll work through that. But, yeah, it was a good weekend to have prom, and I think the way we came back on Sunday and Monday and obviously yesterday with an extra practice there, usually game day, worked well, and the kids have done a good job with that.
You guys, you know, talking about just, you know, having some fun and getting back into it. Right now we're into the final couple of weeks of the regular season, and the conference standings are pretty tight. And I know you guys are focused on what's in front of you and taking care of this one and taking care of your own business. But as a coach, does it make it more fun to be right there in the mix of all of this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you always want to play, like you said, you want to play your best baseball here toward the end of the year. We always say we want to play our best baseball in May, and it'd be nice for us to come out today and kind of begin that process here, like I said, in a tough challenge here at South Medford. So, yeah, it's always exciting, you know, when you're coming down to what we have a handful of games left, I guess 6, but that doesn't mean that the games we played before were any less, or, you know, our excitement level or our opportunity wasn't there in those games either. But it's just that's how the league plays out. You know, you get to the last couple of weeks, a doubleheader and a Tuesday game, and things start to shake out as far as league standings go. So it's always fun to see where we're at and see what's going on with that. So, yeah, we're excited to be here. And like I said, hopefully we come out today and play well and give ourselves an opportunity here.
All right, Coach. Best of luck to you guys out there today.
Thank you.
And that is head coach Troy Thompson joining us here in the pregame show as we get ready for today's matchup between Roseburg and South Medford. Roseburg, as mentioned, had the weekend off, so the Tribe they had prom and got a chance to have a little bit of downtime and maybe enjoy themselves just a little bit. And now they are right back into the thick of it with a tough test against South Medford. South Medford coming in at 13-6 on the season, 7-5 in conference play. They currently sit in third place. They are 3.5 games behind league leader North Medford at the moment. Roseburg in second place with their 16-4 overall record. Most wins in the conference overall, but they are 9-3 in conference play and sit a game and a half behind North Medford. There were a lot of games yesterday in the conference. Obviously, South and Roseburg did not play because of the weather delay yesterday. But yesterday you had Sheldon defeating South Eugene 13-6. That keeps the Irish right in the thick of the chase for an automatic playoff berth out of the conference. North Medford picked up an 11-1 win over Willamette as they continue to hold on to first place in the conference standings. But Roseburg with a win today would move within one game of North Medford in the conference standings if they could hold on and get a season sweep against South Medford. In non-league action yesterday, Grants Pass won against McKinleyville out of California 5-1 in that non-league matchup yesterday. But Roseburg looking to try and continue. They've won 3 straight games. That includes their win against Grants Pass last Tuesday that finished off a season sweep of the Cavers. Takahashi was on the mound for a complete game shutout, had 7 strikeouts, allowed 5 hits in the shutout victory. It was Brooks Avery, Evan Corbin, and Jordan White all getting 2 hits in that ball game. Unfortunately for Roseburg, Jordan White will be out today dealing with a knee injury. Jordan ended up, I guess, in Monday's practice tweaking something in his knee. Was limping around pretty good here today, so hopefully he'll be back here shortly. But as it is, he is out of today's starting lineup. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineups for today's matchup. For the Roseburg Indians, the starting lineup will have Austin Takahashi leading things off, starting at third base today. Brooks Avery, the shortstop, will bat second, followed by Eli Jacobs, the center fielder. In the cleanup spot is the first baseman, Evan Corbin. Jace Wilder in right field will bat fifth, followed by the catcher, Parker Berg. The DH today for Roseburg will be James Coleman, batting in the 7th spot. In the 8 hole is Noah Fisk, the second baseman, and Hunter Fullerton, the left fielder, will round out the starting 9. The DH being utilized for starting pitcher, Jace Johnson. On the other side for South Medford, their starting lineup will be Caleb Long leading things off, playing at third base. The pitcher, Cameron Sewell, will bat second. At catcher is Eli Havey. He will bat third, followed by Tristan Malari, the cleanup hitter, playing at first base. Starting at second, batting fifth, is Kyle Cope. Tosh Stumpenhaus is the center fielder, batting in the 6th position, followed by Sam Thompson, the DH, batting 7th. Cooper Mitchell in right field will bat 8th, and Jordan Sawyer, the shortstop, is the final man in the starting 9 for head coach Josh Moody and the South Medford Panthers. The DH being utilized for left fielder Jake Mason. That's a look at today's starting lineups as we start wrapping up the Roseburg Disposal pregame show. Again, let them make the run of the dump for you. That's Roseburg Disposal. Give them a call at 673-7122. We're going to have a chance to pause for the national anthem here in just a moment as we get ready for today's ball game. Roseburg will be in the black tops, the gray trousers, white tops, white trousers, blue socks for the Panthers here on their home field at Harry and David Field. Blue skies overhead, a beautiful day. A slight breeze, according to the American flag out in left field, is going left to right across the diamond. I was down on the field earlier today, and it seemed to be blowing in from the right field corner across the diamond, so it does appear that it might be swirling a little bit. My truck was rating 70 degrees when I got into Medford today, looking at 69 degrees right now. There is a threat of maybe some thunderstorms that could bring some precipitation a little later on in the day, so hopefully we'll get a chance to get this game in prior to all of that happening. We're just about to get things underway here from Harry and David Field. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, it's time to get this one underway on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Successful companies have a very important secret. Good advertising works and makes them money. That's why your business should contact Lotus Media Group. Let us help you cash in with multimedia advertising. Multiple touches from Douglas County's only Google certified partner and most effective advertising platform. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen. LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with a news review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with LotusMediaGroupLLC.com.
Back here in Medford on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Got to remind myself it is a Wednesday here today, as normally we'd be playing on a Tuesday. So try not to give myself an extra day this week. Joey Keyran here with you. It's great to be with you all here on this afternoon from the Rogue Valley as we get ready for baseball. Taking a look at your defensive alignment for the South Medford Panthers, the home team in today's matchup. On the mound is Cameron Sewell. He split the Conference Pitcher of the Year award with Austin Takahashi last year. He will make his first start against Roseburg. He had been coming out of the pen pretty strictly for South Medford in the games against Roseburg previously, and today he will get the start. The right-hander fires in to Elijah Havey back behind the plate, the starting catcher today. At first base is Tristan Malari, the starter at the first base bag. At second base, Kyle Cope. On the left side of the infield, you've got Caleb Long at third and Jordan Sawyer at short. In the outfield from left to right, Jake Mason, Tosh Stumpenhaus, and then in right field, it's Cooper Mitchell. That is a look at your starting lineup for the South Medford Panthers, coming in at 13-6, looking to make up for losing 2 against Roseburg back on April 8th. Roseburg got a 3-2 win in Game 1 of that doubleheader on that Saturday, and then took Game 2 5-0 against the Panthers. South Medford has definitely recovered from that point in time. They have gone on to build a 7-5 record in conference play. They sit just 2 games behind Roseburg in the standings. Up to bat first for Roseburg will be Austin Takahashi, starting at third base today, a spot that he had been for the last couple of seasons after with the graduation of Dawson Gillespie last year. Takahashi able to make the move to shortstop, a position he played for many years in his younger days. He squares up and offers on the first pitch. Cannot connect, and there is strike 1 to get this ball game underway. Takahashi, a left-handed batter, right-handed thrower, takes strike 2 on the outside corner from Cameron Sewell. These are the 2 guys that split that Conference Pitcher of the Year award last year. Should be a pretty heated battle for that award here this year between a few guys around the conference. The 0-2 pitch outside, a breaking ball for Sewell, misses wide of the plate. I know that crosstown rival for South Medford, North Medford's Trey Newman has had a great year on the mound. So has Evan Corbin for Roseburg, who won the award in that COVID season, was the Southern Oregon Conference Pitcher of the Year. 2-2 count as Takahashi takes outside. Tak waits on the 2-2 delivery. Gets the outside corner. Strike 3 for Takahashi. He goes down looking, as on the mound, Cameron Sewell basically putting everything on the outside corner of the plate. 1 away for the Panthers, and Brooks Avery will step in. Avery has been a hot hitter in his first season at the varsity level. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. Avery getting a chance to start at shortstop. He's been there throughout the season this year, as he takes high for a 1-1 count. When Takahashi was down with his injury, Avery filled in at shortstop, and now when they have to move things around because of defensive either pitchers on the mound or today due to an injury, Avery gets the chance to start at at shortstop once again. He takes outside for a 2-1 count. Avery comes into today batting .310 on the year. The 2-1 pitch, chops at it, sends it high in the air. That one stays on the infield. Calling for it, third baseman Caleb Long will make the catch just behind the mound for the second out. 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Brings up the center fielder for Roseburg, Eli Jacobs. Jacobs moving to the 3 spot. Avery got the move up the lineup. It's been pretty productive. Jacobs batting .296 on the year. He fouls off the first pitch. He has been a productive hitter, getting a chance to have full-time starting duties this year. Was a defensive guy last year coming in and out of the dugout. He is currently slugging .352. He's been able to get a hold of some pitches. There he takes a breaking ball That drops in nicely from the right-handed Sewell for strike 2. Sewell looking to try and make it a 1-2-3 first inning. His breaking ball carries outside this time. Scooped up behind the plate by Eli Havey. So Jacobs back in with a 1-2 count. Out of the windup for Sewell. Jacobs goes opposite field. That one down the line. Not a lot of foul territory out down the line here at Harry and David Field. It closes quickly as the fences cut back in to make room for the bullpens down the right field corner and the left field corner. Chasing out there in right field, Cooper Mitchell ran out of room quickly as that ball makes its way into the bullpen. Stays a 1-2 count here for Jacobs. Breaking ball carries outside and evens things up. Against South Medford, the first go-round, Eli Jacobs had a couple of good games, had 2 hits in both games of the doubleheader. He's got a 2-2 count here with 2 outs and nobody on base. Yeah, that's only a 3-2 count. Eli Jacobs took off for first. I was waiting to see if anybody was going to stop him. All of us here in the booth had that as a 2-2 count, and so now he's got a full count pitch. And boy, this always seems to... I don't want to say always, but a lot of times this doesn't work out for the hitter. Thinks he's got ball 4, makes the track down to first, comes back, and the 3-2 pitch. And there is strike 3. It is a breaking ball that hits the outside corner. Jacobs watches it go by, and that's the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're through 1/2 inning. South Medford coming up the bat. We'll get you the Roseburg defense when we return on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Bottom of the first inning, a scoreless ball game after a 1-2-3 top half of the frame. We go to the bottom of the first where Roseburg's Jake Johnson will take the mound. 36 and 2/3 innings work for Jake Johnson this season. The sophomore has a 4-1 record. He comes in with a 1.53 ERA. He's got 27 strikeouts and 12 walks in those 36 and 2/3 innings of work. He will start against South Medford. He got a complete game shutout victory against South Medford the first time in a bit of spot duty. His first pitch to Caleb Long is in for strike 1, and we're underway in the bottom of the first. Jake Johnson was not expecting to pitch game 2 of a doubleheader against South Medford the first time the two teams met, as his 0-1 pitch will hit the strike zone on the outside corner. 0-2 count to Caleb Long. Johnson got pushed into spot duty because Takahashi suffered an injury in game 1 of that doubleheader, and he was the expected starter for game 2 on the mound for Roseburg. And with Takahashi unavailable, they went to Johnson on short duty, and he came in and fired a 5-0 complete game victory. So that was one of his better starts of the year. His 1-2 pitch breaks and tails away outside to the hitter, Caleb Long. Long comes in, a 3-0-1 hitter in the leadoff spot for South Medford. His 2-2 pitch swings and misses at the breaking ball for strike 3. And down on strikes goes Caleb Long. One away for Cameron Sewell. The starting pitcher today for South Medford will get a chance. Sewell batting .388 on the year. That is the top average for the team. South Medford batting .288 as a unit. Left-handed batter for Sewell, right-handed thrower. And he takes the first pitch, strike one. Kind of interesting, Sewell and Takahashi splitting the co-conference Pitcher of the Year award last year. They're both right-handed throwers, but left-handed batters. The 0-1, check swing. It was fair for a moment. Dribbles foul down the first base side. Everybody's waiting to see on this natural surface whether or not it'll hook back into fair territory. Parker Burke behind the plate and Jake Johnson both standing over that baseball in foul territory down the first base line. Strike two for Sewell. Grass and dirt. The way baseball started here at Harry and David Field. Off-speed pitch, belted into center field. Adjusting a couple steps back for Eli Jacobs, and he's underneath it for the second out. 2 away. It's grass on the infield, grass around the apron, grass in the outfield. It's real dirt on the infield as well. No artificial turf here at Harry and David Field, now operated by the city of Medford. Home of the Medford Rogues during the summer. They'll get started here at the start of next month. 2 away, Elijah Havey will bat. First pitch swinging, he hits a ground ball foul down the third base side. Starts off with the 0-1 count. Havey at the plate, as you would expect. Top of the order, doing pretty well for the Panthers. Hitting .272 on the season. Wind continues to blow left to right across the diamond here at Harry and David Field. It was a breezy day. Temperatures in the upper 60s, hovering right around 70 degrees. Beautiful day for baseball. A foul ball towards the on-deck circle for Havey, an 0-2 count. And on the mound, Jake Johnson, the right-hander, looking to try and make quick work here in the bottom of the first against the Panthers. The 0-2 delivery. Ground ball towards third, charging in. Takahashi, his first game, I think, at third base this season. No problem, able to, not a strikeout, it's a 5-3 putout to finish it off there for those that are watching on 541radio.com. A 1-2-3 inning for Jake Johnson as Roseburg responds to South Medford's perfect frame in the top half of the first. We're scoreless through one as we go to the bottom of the second, top of the second on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
Top of the second inning, today's Roseburg baseball game here on The Score is sponsored by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for Roseburg to begin the second inning. Evan Corbin will lead things off against Cameron Sewell. First pitch swinging for Corbs is grounded foul down that third base side. Corbin coming into today's ball game, batting .316 on the year. Just outside on the 0-1 pitch, a 1-1 count. Roseburg has a team batting .270 on the season. But they've had some guys that are having some pretty good seasons at the plate as Corbin takes high for a 2-1 count. He's one of those guys. He's been swinging it pretty well. Again, .316. On the year, 2 doubles, a triple, and 13 RBI for him. He's leading things off here in the second. He fouls off another pitch from Sewell for a 2-2 count. This season for Cameron Sewell on the mound, he's making his 6th start of the year, his 11th appearance for South Medford. 43 2/3 innings coming into the matchup. His 2-2 for Corbin, a breaking ball, strike 3. And there is another pitch that has frozen a Roseburg hitter. That's 3 strikeouts. All of them have been strikeouts looking for Cameron Sewell so far. Came into today's matchup with 29 strikeouts on the year, so that total is climbing for him. Ground ball towards third base here for Jace Wilder, scooped up by Caleb Long. Throw to first. Talk about a scoop at first base. Tristan Malari out there at first makes the grab on the ball in the dirt to retire Jace Wilder as he grounds out on the first pitch he sees. 2 away, brings up Parker Burke as Roseburg moving quickly through things here in the top of the second. Burke, Roseburg starting catcher, takes high and away for ball 1. Seemed like a slow start this season for Burke, but he has definitely been coming along. Burke trying to bring the average up at 237. Takes high and away. His on-base percentage has been decent enough. He's been able to find his way on base. As he takes again, the count goes 3-0. As Cameron Sewell falls behind here against Burke, who has 7 walks on the year. Does catch the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 away with nobody on. Burke trying to get on base. The 3-1 pitch, that line foul, well hit down that left field side, but into the batting cages on the left side here at Harry and David Field. Sewell trying to wrap it up. He's got himself to a 3-2 pitch. Fouled away. Burke, unlike his predecessors at the plate, not wanting to go down with a strike looking. 3 strikeouts in the game so far for Sewell, all of them backwards Ks in the scorebook. The 3-2 pitch is fouled up behind home. There's a lot of room behind home, but not that much. Out of play. And it is a 3-2 count still for Parker Burke. Getting Sewell to throw a few extra pitches here in the second inning. The 3-2 pitch out of the windup for Sewell. The righty towing the first base side of the rubber, squared up to home. Winds and fires. Ground ball, hard hit, 1 hopper towards third base. Caleb Long makes up for the low throw the last time. Throws a little higher this time to Malari, who has to stretch up to get to it for the final out. Another 1-2-3 frame for Cameron Sewell and the South Medford Panthers. Roseburg goes down, no runs, no hits. No errors for South, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM at 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs. Bottom of the second inning, a scoreless contest. Today's game is sponsored by our friends at DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. For South Medford, it will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters as well. Tristan Malari will lead things off, the first baseman. A sophomore left-handed batter takes on the outside corner from the right-handed thrower, which is Jake Johnson on the mound for Roseburg. And he's got a 0-1 count to start things off. High and away for Johnson, 1-1 count. Jake in the first inning, strikeout, pop out, ground out. 1-1. Drops a breaking ball on the inside corner for a 1-2 count to Tristan Malari. Malari comes into today's matchup batting .423. Now that's the number I didn't see there. He belts one left side foul. The sophomore is having a great season there. .423, that's a heck of a year. 17 RBI for him, tied for the team lead. That's why he's in the in the cleanup position. 1-2 pitch just outside for Johnson. And it's a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low for Johnson, and the count will go full. .3-2 pitch. Another foul ball for Malari, out of play. So the full count remains here for Tristan Malari. And he takes ball 4 just outside for the first walk, first base runner of the ballgame for either side. Jake Johnson puts a man on to start things off in the second. Brings up Kyle Cope, the second baseman. So a runner on base for the first time today. Kyle Cope, the second baseman, batting 5th in the lineup. Takes outside, picked down to first, not going to be in time for Burke. Cope hitting .293 on the season. .1-0 delivery. Misses high. For Kyle Cope. And a doubleheader against Sheldon on Saturday for the Panthers. He was one of the pitchers used in that matchup. He was the guy that benefited from the rainout yesterday. He would be a full go today if needed to pitch on the mound. His pitch count had him out until Tuesday. Or actually out until today as he's full go, full clearance. As he flies one out to right field, deep in right field, caught by Jace Wilder for the first out here in the second inning. And there's one away.
For the Panthers, number 10,
Tosh Stumpenhouse will stand in, the center fielder for South Medford. That was one thing I was looking at, was how that might have affected things yesterday with that rain out. And South Medford played over the weekend. Roseburg did not. Everybody was full go today as a pickoff throw to first, not in time. So Roseburg was in a good spot with their rotation, but for South Medford playing a doubleheader on Saturday, how'd that affect things? And with the extra day, Kyle Cope is available to go today. We'll see if he's needed. As a line drive softly hit over the top of the second baseman into shallow center field. Stumpenhouse will get a single to shallow center field. First base hit of the day for the Panthers, and the first base hit for either side. Runners at first and second with one away, and it brings up Sam Thompson, the DH.
Sam Thompson.
Thompson comes in. This is the 13th game of the season for him. He's batting .333 on the year. He takes the first pitch from Johnson for strike 1. He bats for the starting left fielder, Jake Mason. Thompson, a senior for the South Medford club. Hits a ground ball up the middle. Diving, knocked down by Avery, but can he make the play to second in time? No. Everyone will be safe. Diving attempt by Avery up the middle. Tried to get it to Fisk at second base, but he could not complete the play. Bases are loaded with one out, and that'll go down as a base hit for Thompson. Just couldn't quite get to it up the middle there for Avery. Diving attempt, but he couldn't collect the baseball to get it to Fisk at second for at least one of the outs. Bases loaded with one away. Breaking ball called strike 1 to Cooper Mitchell. Mitchell, the right fielder. Roseburg will play in on the corners. Double play depth up the middle, looking to try and turn two and get out of things in the second. A swing and foul ball towards the on-deck circle on a breaking ball there for Mitchell. And Cooper finds himself with an 0-2 count. Cooper Mitchell hitting .265 on the year, 6 RBI, and he's got a chance to try and break a scoreless ball game here in the second for South Medford. The 0-2 pitch from Johnson. Fouled away. Burke behind the plate was setting up well outside to the right-handed hitter. That ball tailed back over the plate in towards the hands for Mitchell. And he was able to get it, enough of it to send it out of play and keep his at-bat alive. An 0-2 count again. Ground ball up the middle. Could be a chance at 2. Flip back to second. They won't get the out at second base. Avery tried to glove flip back to Fisk at second base. They can't get the out, and then run will score as Mitchell brings home Malari, and it's a 1-0 lead for South Medford. It was just too slow through the middle of the infield to try and get a double play. That's what you were hoping for there, and they couldn't do it. So the bases remain loaded, and the 9-hitter Jordan Sawyer will bat. He fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. We count that as a hit or an error? Base hit for Cooper Mitchell, according to scorebook extraordinaire B.G. Gould. So 3 hits here in the second inning for South Medford. They take a 1-0 lead. And so far, only 1 ball has been hit out of the infield, and it was just a soft liner to shallow center. Check swing, and that ball fouled down the first base side for Sawyer. He's got an 0-2 count. Jordan Sawyer, the starting shortstop, batting .204 on the year. Trying to come up with a big swing here. His 0-2 pitch is too far outside. One-two count. Johnson delivers off speed, popped it up on the infield. Foul territory. It is Evan Corbin there to make the catch in foul territory. And there's 2 down. Back to the top of the order, which is very dangerous for this South Medford club. So Roseburg happy they've got at least 2 outs at this point, but boy, would have liked to have gotten it on a couple of those infield ground balls in the last couple of batters. Bases loaded, 2 away. 1 run in so far for South Medford. Bottom of the second. Johnson's first pitch, high and inside. Johnson out of the stretch. I love his leg kick. He just gets this, flicks it out there as he builds his momentum coming to the home plate. Younger brother, former Roseburg Indians, Caden Johnson and Cody Johnson. Breaking ball, he might have learned that pitch from Cody, in for a strike 1. 1-1 pitch. Cody Johnson, former Roseburg pitcher, a good one at that. Boy, he had some good breaking and moving pitches. Caleb Long at the plate right now, fouls off the 1-1 pitch for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes for the leadoff man, Caleb Long. He struck out swinging back in the first. A strikeout here would be huge for Roseburg. Bases loaded, the 1-2 pitch. Behind the plate, Burke does everything he can to make sure that ball does not get by, and he saves a run with his work behind the plate. It's a deep backstop here at Harry and David Field. Any ball that gets by, it's got a lot of room to roll. Burke makes sure that that doesn't happen on that pitch in the dirt. A 2-2 pitch here for Johnson. Off speed, got him swinging into the glove for Parker Burke. Another strikeout against Caleb Long. That's the second in the ballgame for Jake Johnson. But South Medford will get the first run across. 1 run on 3 hits. There were no Roseburg errors and 3 men left on base for the Panthers. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. It's 1-0. South Medford in front on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
From a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to. By hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations. Top of the Hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Going to the top of the third inning here from Harry and David Field in Medford. A 1-0 lead for the South Medford Panthers. Roseburg will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up against Cameron Sewell, who now has a 1-run lead to work with. It'll be James Coleman to lead things off. We'll get a legal ID here in just a moment for those on the radio side. First pitch in for Coleman is strike one. James Coleman DHing for Jake Johnson today. Coleman has been in the lineup limited this season, the senior. Swings through a breaking ball for strike two, but he has had some big at-bats for Roseburg this year. Played in 8 games coming into it, 8 at-bats, a .250 batting average. His 0-2 pitch. High and away he takes for a 1-2 count. Coleman, the 7-hitter, followed by Fisk and Fullerton to round out the first time through the lineup against Cameron Sewell. The 1-2 pitch. Well outside, and Coleman able to lay off. Jordan White out today, for those that might have missed that earlier. A knee issue. Suffered in practice earlier this week. Going to keep him out today. Hopefully it's not something that's long-term. A 2-2 pitch to Coleman is high with the off-speed from Sewell. And the count is full after Coleman started out with the 0-2 count. He's worked his way back to the full count pitch here from Cameron Sewell. Puts the glove up in front of his face as he goes through the windup and misses high and inside for ball 4. On at first is James Coleman. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg Baseball on The Score.
Now batting, number 8, Noah Fitz.
One on with nobody out as Roseburg gets a leadoff walk here to begin the third inning, trailing 1-0 against South Medford. Noah Fisk will lay down a bunt. It goes to Sewell. He double pumped about, I think he thought about going to second, but wasn't sure that he was going to have the defense there in time. Instead gets the out at first as Fisk will lay down a sac bunt. One away, but a man in scoring position for Roseburg here in the third. Hunter Fullerton, the 9-hitter, will stand in. Hunter trying to get things going. Been great defensively with the bat in his hands. He's looking to get something started. He'll fly one out towards shallow right field. Calling for it is Mitchell at second base. A couple of steps off the bag for James Coleman. Unfortunately, that ball's not deep enough for Coleman to try and get a break to third base. 2 away, and it'll be back to the top of the order for Austin Takahashi. Roseburg with their first base runner of the ball game and trying to make it worth something, trailing 1-0 against South Medford. Takahashi struck out looking his first time up and looking to try and make amends for that. He does not strike out often. First pitch pulled foul for strike one. Wanted to see for Takahashi this season. Mentioned batting .340 coming into the matchup. And for Takahashi, 8 strikeouts coming into today. So not a ton of them. The 0-1 pitch. Grounder tapped back to the mound. Picked up by Sewell. Easy throw to Malari at first. And that is another quick inning for the Panthers. A couple of plays made off the mound by Cameron Sewell. And it leaves one man stranded at second base. It's a 1-0 lead, South Medford in front. Roseburg, no runs, no hits, no South Medford errors, and one man left on. So go to the bottom of the third inning on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.
Bottom of the third inning, today's Roseburg baseball game here on the Score, brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. It'll be Cameron Sewell to lead things off. F8, his first time up to bat. He hits a line drive into right field. Get on base to start things off. That ball gets by Jace Wilder, and Sewell's going to take second base. There'll be a base hit and then an error in right field by Wilder. Wilder not able to field that one cleanly on the hop out and right. Gets by him, and Sewell takes his way to second base. So a man in scoring position for South Medford to start things off here in the third inning. That line drive just too tall at second base for Noah Fisk, out of his reach and easily into right field. Elijah Havey will lead things, or will start. And with a breaking ball low and outside for a 1-0 count against Jake Johnson. Havey grounded out to third in the first inning. He's got an opportunity here with a man in scoring position. He gets behind a ball, lifted high in the air to left field, going back. Fullerton at the warning track. He will make the catch, crashes into the wall, sends it back in, and coming into third will be Cameron Sewell. Havey gave that ball a ride, thought it had a chance, but it falls just short of clearing the fence in left field. Hunter Fullerton making the catch before the wall, but then his momentum carries him into the fence here at Harry and David Field. Runner at third base with one out for South Medford, already leading 1-0. Pitch gets away from Parker Burke, and a run will come in to score. So a run comes in on the ball in the dirt, makes it 2-0, South Medford in front. Sewell will come in. He gets on with the single, advances to second with the error in right field on that hit. Moves to third on the fly ball out by Elijah Havey, and then scores on a pass ball to make it 2-0. To a 1-0, make that a 2-0 count for Tristan Malari, who walked back in the second inning and came around and scored the first run of the game. South Medford putting the pressure on Roseburg here early on. 2-0 pitch is high for a 3-0 count. Want to remind everybody, today's game streaming live online at 541radio.com. Thanks to sponsorship from the Cow Creek Tribe. The 3-0 pitch for a strike to Malari. You can find us on our YouTube channel. Search 1490 The Score. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to follow Roseburg High Sports throughout the rest of this spring sports season. 3-1 pitch is in for a strike to Malari, the cleanup hitter. We'll have a 3-2 count. One away with nobody on. One run in so far here in the third, and it is high and away for ball four. So Jake Johnson, who had a 5-0 win against South Medford the first time the two teams met, and game two of a doubleheader, is having to pitch from behind here today with a 2-0 lead in favor of South. Kyle Cope will bat. The second baseman flew out to right field in his first at-bat. He takes low and inside, scooped up by Berg, who was quickly up into his throwing stance, holding Malari on at first. We are looking to probably try and do an online stream for the Roseburg boys lacrosse team coming up for their senior night here. And I believe that's next Friday, if I'm not mistaken, as a pitch outside, 2-0 count. So that's something to look forward to that we'll have on our video stream. Not a radio broadcast and a video stream, just the video stream for that one. Evan Corbin heads over to the mound to give a word of advice to Jake Johnson, the sophomore. That's something you like to see out of your senior there. Trying to get his pitcher back on track. A 2-0 pitch here to Cope. Will take a strike. So whatever the words of advice were from Evan Corbin, they had some sort of effect, at least for a pitch. We'll see if Johnson can find himself. Gives up a hit towards left field. It'll drop in front of Hunter Fullerton. A long single there for Cope. And that is going to be the 5th hit of the ball game for South Medford. And they've got runners at first and second. Still just one away here in the 3rd inning, and Tosh Stumpenhouse will bat. He had the first hit of the ball game in the 2nd. A line drive to shallow center field. He was left stranded at 3rd base back in the 2nd. He hits a line drive low out towards left field on the first pitch. And the throw coming in will not have a chance to get the runner at home. Scoring from second is Malari, and South Medford will have a 3-0 lead here in the 3rd inning. Up to second base goes Kyle Cope. Stumpenhouse will have an RBI single. He's 2 for 2 on the day, and it's a visit out to the mound for pitching coach Zach Mandera, who is with the team this season. So they'll bring in the entire infield to have a conversation here in the 3rd inning as South Medford has jumped out to a 3-0 lead. While we have a break in the action, remind you today's game is brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home. Serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. That's Fisher's Hearth and Home. First and second for South Medford with one away in the 3rd. Put in 2 runs here in this 3rd inning. Roseburg's going to have to get the offense going. So far, they've managed just 1 base runner against Cameron Sewell through the first 3 innings. Up to bat will be Sam Thompson, who had an infield single. Runners go and throw to 3rd. Tag applied. Got him at 3rd base. Takahashi making the out at 3rd. As they tried to send both runners, Kyle Cope caught stealing at 3rd base. 2 down. Up to second base goes Stumpenhouse. So it is a 1-0 count at the plate for Sam Thompson with 2 outs and a runner at second base. The 1-0 pitch, ground ball towards short. In front of it, Avery sends it over to Corbin, who stays on the bag for the final out. And that will finish things. Yeah.
2 runs on 1 hit.
I believe the innings had come to an end. The umpire at first said he was out. And the umpires are going to get a chance to come together here to make sure they've got the right call before this one comes to an end. As it stands right now, Sam Thompson grounded into a 6-3 put out at first to finish things off in the 3rd. If that's the way it comes to an end, it'll be a 3-0 lead for South Medford through the first 3 innings of today's ball game. The crew out there in the black today. I'd say the only person that may have an angle to help out the umpire at first, a lot of times it's the umpire behind the plate, but the stretch took Corbin up the first base line. I don't think from 3rd base you're going to have any other call on that one. There is the final out, so that will do it for the 3rd inning. 2 runs come in. It's 3-0 South Medford here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Starting out the fourth inning here from Harry and David Field in Medford. Brooks Avery, Eli Jacobs, Evan Corbin, the three hitters due up for Roseburg, trailing 3-0 against South Medford. Cameron Sewell on the mound now with a nice lead to try and work with. Avery will take a breaking ball for strike one to start things off. Brooks popped out on the infield in the first inning. Third baseman Caleb Long got underneath that one to retire Avery back in the first. He's 0 for 1 today. The 0-1 pitch from Sewell hits the outside corner. Today's ballgame brought to you by Flyaway Travel. When you get ready to take that dream trip, contact the travel experts at Travel Leader Flyaway Travel to make sure you've got an agent in your corner during these complicated travel times. It's a breaking ball. Avery gets fooled. He goes chasing, swings and misses for strikeout number 4 on the day for Cameron Sewell. One away. Eli Jacobs will bat. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. If you'd like to get in touch with Flyaway Travel to make your travel plans, give them a call at 672-5701. First pitch to Jacobs, sat on the breaking ball, but sends it sky high down the third base line into foul territory. Caleb Long for the out. 2 away. Well, Sewell has been fairly efficient in his outing so far. He's been getting a lot of quick at-bats, whether they be strikeouts or whether they be putouts. You got to like that if you're a South Medford fan. The first pitch to Evan Corbin. It's a breaking ball that hits the inside corner for an 0-1 count. Corbin struck out looking in the second inning. Sewell out of his windup. The 0-1 is high. 1-1 count. Sewell, the senior right-hander. 1-1 delivery, misses high. This South Medford team graduating 5 seniors from last year's conference championship club. And that included 3 first-team All-Southwest Conference selections from a year ago. Sewell tries to fire in a bit harder, misses outside to Corbin, and the count goes 3-1. South Medford made it into the second round of the state playoffs a year ago. Bit of an early exit for him. It's a ground ball up the middle, backhanded at second base by Cope. His throw to first in time to get Corbin. Some defense for the Panthers to take away a base hit from Evan Corbin. A 1-2-3 frame for South Medford defensively. Roseburg, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Going to the bottom of the fourth inning, it is 3-0. Right now, it's South Medford in front on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, a 3-0 lead for South Medford. It's Cooper Mitchell, the right fielder, who will lead things off for South. First pitch swinging is fouled down the third base side, snagged by Takahashi just on the other side of the chalk line. Today's game brought to you by Roseburg Honda. Buying a car can be a hassle, but at Roseburg Honda, it's different. Customer satisfaction is their highest priority. Visit Roseburg Honda, where they treat you like family because they are family. Ground ball up the middle in front of shortstop Brooks Avery. Throw to first. Not in time. Quickly down the line for Cooper Mitchell. He'll beat out an infield single, his second infield single of the day. And South Medford has the leadoff man on base. For a third straight inning, they get the leadoff man on. South Medford hasn't necessarily hit the ball super hard around the yard, but they've done a nice job of beating out some infield plays as they look to first for Johnson. As at the plate, Jordan Sawyer showing a bunt early on as a sacrifice attempt. He'll square to bunt. Breaking ball taken outside and low for ball one. Sawyer popped out in foul territory to Evan Corbin back in the second inning. He was batting with the bases loaded in that frame. He steps in here with nobody out and a man on at first. Squares to bunt, puts it down first base side. Johnson will not make the tag, but they'll say the runner was out of the base paths, and he will be out. Runner does get up to second base. So Cooper Mitchell moves into scoring position with one away. And the top of the order coming up.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 14,
one away. Caleb Long 0 for 2 today against Jake Johnson. He's got Cooper Mitchell at second base with the one out. Takes a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike one. Takahashi playing in at third, even with the bag. Evan Corbin also playing even at first. 0-1 pitch, ground ball up the middle, high hop. Avery has time, will fire to first to retire Caleb Long. He's 0 for 3 today. He does move the runner up 90 feet, and Cameron Sewell will have a chance to try and bring in a run with two away. Roseburg looking to try and keep South Medford off the board for the first time since the first inning. A run in the second and 2 runs in the third for the Panthers has them out to a 3-0 lead. Sewell had a single his last time up. Takes the first pitch low and inside. Sewell, the left-handed batter, pulled one to right field. It dropped in front of Jace Wilder, then got by the right fielder. And that allowed Sewell to make his way to second base. 1-0 pitch, line drive, snagged out of the air by Evan Corbin at first base. And that will finish things for South Medford. Hard hit ball, but robbed at the bag by Evan Corbin. Finishes it off, and a man will be left stranded for the Panthers. No runs on one hit, no Roseburg errors, and one man left on base. Still 3-0 South Medford in front as we go to the top of the fifth inning on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs.
Number 6, Chase Wilder.
Roseburg baseball on the score, brought to you by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Scoreless game for the Tribe. Chase Wilder first pitch here in the 5th. A grounder to short picked up by Jordan Sawyer. Will retire the first batter. And for Cameron Sewell on the mound, he is now retired 7 straight Roseburg batters. The one man to get on base was James Coleman, who's waiting on deck. One away, Parker Burke will bat. He grounded to third base, back in the second. First pitch, waited on a breaking ball. One hopper to second base, picked up by Kyle Cope. And there's 2 down. And that is all of 2 pitches here in the 5th inning for Cameron Sewell. It brings up James Coleman, who walked in the 3rd inning to lead off the frame, moved to second on a sac bunt, and then was left stranded at second the rest of that inning. 2 away for the Tribe, and Coleman having a brief meeting at first, down the first base line with Coach Tim Sester. For Roseburg coming up, their next matchup will be a doubleheader on the road at Sheldon coming up on Saturday. Roseburg will need to try and sweep that doubleheader to try and win that series against the Irish. So far, Roseburg has clinched a series victory against 4 teams out of the Southwest Conference. High and inside, ball 1 to James Coleman. Roseburg has series wins against South Medford, Grants Pass, Willamette, and South Eugene. 1-0 pitch, fouled away. And I know Roseburg definitely would like to try and win the conference title, but when you are able to win every series in the league, put yourself in a decent spot to try and do so. Check swing couldn't hold up for Coleman. He's got a 1-2 count. But this would be a big one here if Roseburg could get a win, a comeback victory here on the road against South Medford. They would have a chance to try and be right there, 1 game behind North Medford in the conference standings. 2-2 count for Coleman as he takes a breaking ball low and outside. Two with 2 outs and nobody on. This is the longest at bat here in the 5th inning for Roseburg. Sewell's pitch. Strike 3 right down the middle. That'll finish it off. Another quick and efficient frame for Cameron Sewell, who has found his groove here today as he holds Roseburg off the board and off the bases for yet another frame. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 South Medford in front on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
From a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to. By hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations. Top of the Hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 4, Elijah Havey.
Elijah Havey will lead things off for South Medford as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Joey Keyran here with you from Harry and David Field in Medford. Today's video streaming of Roseburg High Baseball is brought to you by the Cow Creek Tribe. Havey will take strike one from Jake Johnson, who is into his 5th inning of work. Johnson has scattered 7 hits throughout this one. He's given up 3 runs, 1 in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. Off-speed pitch, just a little high, 1-1 count. Roseburg softball played earlier this afternoon at South Medford today, and they ended up taking a loss in that one. A 1-1 pitch is high, 2 balls and a strike. Roseburg softball lost in that matchup. Let's find it again here. 6-1 your final score in that one at South Medford. 2-1 pitch from Johnson is in for a strike, 2-2 to Elijah Havey, who's 0 for 2 today. Softball yesterday got postponed as well, so both teams were down here in Medford today in makeup games. The 2-2 pitch, that ball check swing out of play. And the kids go scrambling to go find that one. That was a large swarm of children headed after that foul ball. 2-2 pitch from Johnson. Off speed, fouled it back. That one just off the top of the netting. So Roseburg softball unable to go on the road and take one against a very good South Medford team that handed number 1 ranked Sheldon their first loss of the season here recently. 2-2 pitch, ground ball towards short. On a late hop, throw to first base. Avery in time to retire Havey. And that'll be the first out in the 5th inning for the Panthers. The cleanup hitter, Tristan Molari, will bat.
Number 8, Tristan
Molari is scored twice in this game. He has reached base both times via the walk. So he has been a tough guy for Jake Johnson here today. You eliminate that from the lineup, and it's only a 1-run ball game at the moment. First pitch, strike 1 to Molari. The 0-1 pitch for Johnson. Out of his windup, foul ball back. North Medford was in action today in a non-leaguer against South Salem. That one's already wrapped up. It was 2-1, the final score in that one, in favor of South Salem. So that's an interesting result there in non-conference play. It's an 0-2 pitch well outside by Johnson. Can't get Molari, the lefty, to chase. South Salem, of course, came to Roseburg with an undefeated record on the season, and Roseburg handed them their first loss. As a 1-2 pitch, line drive to right field for a base knock. Molari, the dangerous hitter in the cleanup spot, gets himself on for a 3rd time. One on with 1 away, and Kyle Cope will bat. He had a single to left field his last time up. 1 for 2 today. Roseburg and North Medford, those two teams will meet to finish out the regular season, or at least the Southwest Conference season, a week from this Saturday. That should be a fun one at Champion Car Wash Field. In the dirt for a 1-0 count to Cope. Roseburg, of course, trying to catch up with North Medford in the conference standings, and depending on how things play out this week and the start of next week, that final Saturday of conference play could be a huge day to determine the conference championship. Jake Johnson checking on Tristan Molari at first. To throw over that direction was not in time. The 1-0 is fouled away by Cope. 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 5th inning here from Harry and David Field. A smattering of white cotton-like clouds hanging overhead. They were shielding the sun for a little bit there, got a little bit of shade, but sun has been out. It's been a beautiful day for baseball here in Medford. Strike hits the outside corner of the strike zone. Looked like maybe a change up there for Johnson. And he's got a 1-2 count. Works out of the stretch with a man at first. Off speed again, high and inside, misses. And it's a 2-2 count. For South Medford, a win here today will definitely help keep them in contention and put them in a good spot of trying to get one of those top 3 spots in the conference standings, and even give them a shot at trying to catch up to Roseburg for 2nd place. As a ball golfed out towards center field, running in, a throw towards first. Eli Jacobs wanted to see if he could double off the runner at first base. coaches in the dugout might have been thinking they may not have liked that idea. But Roseburg's able to make sure no harm done on the attempt by Jacobs. 2 away. We know that Eli has a great arm out in center field, but that was maybe a throw that wasn't necessary, and if it gets by, it's a lot more costly than the risk. At the plate, first pitch swinging for Stumpenhaus, and he will ground to short, where Avery will send it to Corbin at first for the final out. Here in the 5th inning, no runs on 1 hit for South Medford, no errors for Roseburg, and 1 man left on base. We're through 5 innings of play. It's still 3-0. Roseburg looking to try and snap a no-hitter as we go to the 6th inning on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Brook Communications radio stations have joined forces with the News Review and Lotus Web Services, announcing the Lotus Media Group, a multimedia enterprise. Web, broadcast, print. Make it happen with Lotus Media Group, LLC.
Now batting, number 8, Noah Fisk.
6th inning for Roseburg, down to their final 6 outs to work with. They got some room to make up here, trailing 3-0 against South Medford in a conference affair here on a Wednesday in Medford. First pitch high and inside a bit there to Noah Fisk, who leads things off for Roseburg. The second baseman, a sac bunt in the 3rd. He squares the bunt here, fouls it off, and it's a 1-1 count. Today's game brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Well, Roseburg not only looking for their first RBI of the day, but also looking for their first hit. All RBIs this season are sponsored by BTB Moving, providing labor services for your moving needs. Veteran-owned, affordable, dependable, efficient, and careful. Senior and veteran discounts are available. Breaking ball drops in for a strike to Fisk. He's got a 1-2 count. If you'd like to book for your next move, a little bit of help, contact BTB Moving at 541-315-0122. The 1-2 pitch, Fisk lines to left field, and there it is. Roseburg's first hit of the day, and just their second base runner against Cameron Sewell. Fisk didn't try to do anything more than what was needed on that 1-2 pitch. It came in on the inside half, right around the knees. Got the barrel out, pulled it to left field, and it drops in front of Jake Mason out in left field for a base hit. 1 on with nobody out for Roseburg. They trail 3-0, and Hunter Fullerton will bat. First pitch swinging, that ball softly hit towards shortstop. Not quite enough to get to the outfield for Fullerton. And there's 1 down. Hunter now 0 for 2. And I'm pretty sure he has seen all of 2 pitches in this ball game. Brings the top of the order back up. Takahashi looking for his first hit of the day. Last time up, a soft grounder back to the mound for the final out of the 3rd inning. Takes a pitch outside for a 1-0 count. Talk was batting with a man in scoring position with 2 away in that 3rd inning. He's trying to see if he can do some damage with a man on at first, and just 1 out here in the 6th. On the mound, Sewell working out of the stretch for one of the few times today. Line drive back up the middle for Takahashi. There's a base knock. It's fielded cleanly by Stumpenhaus out in center. And the second hit of the game for Roseburg comes off the bat of Austin Takahashi. Noah Fisk moves to second. Roseburg in business here, but they've got to get the base hits continued. They've got to stack them up here. It'll bring up Brooks Avery, 0 for 2 today. Avery last time up struck out swinging at a breaking ball that had him quite fooled. He swings at a breaking ball to start this one out. Oh, 1 pitch for Sewell. Runners at first and second and 1 away. Just outside on the 0-1 pitch. One delivery for Sewell. Avery gets underneath one, sends it in the air, shallow left field. Sawyer going out, and it's the left fielder Mason who will call him off to make the catch for the second out. 2 down, and Roseburg needs a 2-out rally, trailing by 3 with 2 runners on base. First time they've threatened really in this ball game. Two down, runners at first and second. Eli Jacobs trying to cash in for the Tribe. Senior waits, first pitch, breaking ball low and outside. Behind the plate, Havey keeping the runners as he slides to his right and knocks it down. A 1-0 pitch. Low and outside again, 2-0 for Jacobs. They played Jacobs pretty straight up here. The 2-0 delivery from Sewell. Goes opposite field towards the bullpen, where Roseburg does have some action happening down there. I believe that's Brevin Harrison out there throwing for the Tribe. Getting loose. 2-1 count. Cameron Sewell trying to wrap things up here in the 6th as Roseburg threatens with 2 runners on. Jacobs will take a strike. Evens things up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Eli will find himself in a spot here where a base hit could really change the kind of feeling of this ball game at this point in time. Top of the 6th, Sewell has been lights out, but Roseburg starting to get to him a bit. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball outside, out at second base. Fisk got well off the bag behind the plate. Havey, got to give him a ton of credit for sliding to his right and being able not only to knock the ball down, but to control it and keep it right there with him. Fisk thought that ball might have a chance to get by. He had to race back to the bag to avoid getting caught off guard. 3-2 pitch for Jacobs and a look back to second base for Sewell. Runners will be going on the pitch to the plate here with 2 outs. And runners at first and second. Full count pitch for Eli Jacobs. Top of the 6th, Roseburg trailing 3-0. Sewell delivers. Ground ball, first base side, played by Malari. No problem getting to the bag. And South Medford will avoid the damage by Roseburg. Roseburg unable to do anything. No runs. 2 hits, though. They do break through with their first hits against Cameron Sewell. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. We will go to the bottom of the 6th, still 3-0 for South Medford on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Number 16, Sam Thompson.
Beginning the bottom of the sixth inning, a 3-0 lead for South Medford against Roseburg. Jake Johnson on the mound, still throwing for the Tribe. Will miss a little high to Sam Thompson, the DH for the Panthers. 1 for 2 today for Thompson. A 1-0 count. Swung on and missed. Thompson had a infield single back in the second inning. Part of a one-run frame for the Panthers that got them the lead. They are on top by 3 at the moment. He'll hit a hard ball, scooped at short by Brooks Avery, and the shortstop continues to make some real flashy plays at short as he comes up with the snag and the out.
Number 7, Cooper Mitchell.
Avery is second put out of Thompson, who is the younger brother of former Panther Bennett Thompson, who's now with the Oregon Ducks. One of many Oregon kids on that Oregon Ducks team. Pitch high and away, a 1-0 count. We did an interview with former Roseburg pitcher Jay Stoffel, who now plays for the Ducks, said unfortunately he doesn't get to throw to Bennett Thompson all that often, the two former opponents in the Southwest Conference. Ball lifted to center field for Cooper Mitchell. Mitchell 2 for 2 today, but it will be retired on a fly ball out to center field. There's 2 away for Jake Johnson here in the sixth inning.
Number 6, Jordan Sawyer.
And it'll bring up Jordan Sawyer, who's 0 for 1. And a visit out to the mound for Zach Mandera to go have a conversation with Jake Johnson. This will be a big out here. Roseburg would love to not have to go back to the top of the order against the Panthers in the 6th. Granted, they would maybe have to face them in the 7th if Roseburg's able to fight back and at least tie this game up in the top of the 7th inning. They're actually going to make a change here. With Zach Mandera going out, I didn't think they would make the change at this point in time, but I guess, yeah, it usually is the pitching coach that makes the change for Roseburg. A lot of teams will send the pitching coach out for conversations, and they'll send the head coach out for pitching changes, but Roseburg usually keeps Coach Thompson in the dugout and send out the pitchers or the pitching coach for the change. So we get our first pitching change of the ball game. It's brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. It'll be Brevin Harrison on the mound when we come back after this 60-second timeout on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
To us, pizza the way it ought to be isn't just our slogan. It's our promise and our passion to give you the best dining experience and the best tasting pizza you expect. For over 40 years, we've been making pizza the way it ought to be. Handmade with the freshest and finest ingredients. Our dough is made fresh daily, and we use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings edge to edge. There's pizza, and then there's Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
My wife and I moved to Oregon to raise a family, set our roots, and to have a lot of fun outdoors. We quickly realized that we needed a truck or a rig for the projects that we were doing in the backyard. When we were looking to find a place to finance our truck, we asked our patients, and everyone recommended Cascade Community Credit Union. It was so easy to work with Cascade. Everything was done via email, phone, and we didn't even need to go in. I can't wait to finish up the projects in the backyard, go on more adventures in our truck with our boys, and I look forward to working with Cascade again in the future.
New man on the mound for the Roseburg Indians will be Brevin Harrison after this pitching change, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the way it ought to be. Make sure you stop by and fill up after home games. And Mountain Mike's at the corner of Harvard and Bellows in Roseburg. Brevin will take over for Jake Johnson, misses lone outside, ball 1 to Jordan Sawyer. Sawyer, the 9-hitter, starting shortstop, bats with 2 outs and nobody on. Grounds 1 towards Austin Takahashi at third, who will field it and throw across the diamond, but fielded that one in foul territory. And it'll be a 1-1 count for Sawyer. So Sawyer back to the plate. Brevin Harrison hasn't gotten a chance to pitch in a while. Roseburg does not go to the bullpen often. Their starting pitchers usually very deep into games. His ball opposite field going foul and out of play for strike 2. It's not that they don't like their bullpen, but Evan Corbin, Jake Johnson, Takahashi, they all are guys that they throw quite a few complete games, and they do not have to use the bullpen all that often. A 1-2 pitch. Sawyer fouls it off to stay alive. There's 2 outs with nobody on base. Harrison trying to get Roseburg through this bottom of the 6th. Right now, Roseburg trailing 3-0, finally breaking through against Cameron Sewell. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, scooped up by Burke behind the plate. A strikeout for Harrison to finish things off in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll go to the top of the 7th. Roseburg 3 outs to work with, trailing 3-0 here at Harry and David Field against South Medford on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs.
Top of the 7th inning, it's crunch time for Roseburg baseball as they look to try and avoid losing on the road. They already won the 2 against South Medford earlier, so they've won the season series, but we're looking for the sweep, trying to avoid getting shut out here today. Evan Corbin will lead things off as the 4, 5, 6 hitters will stand in for the Tribe against Cameron Sewell, who will miss low and outside for ball 1. Corbin 0 for 2 in the ball game as Cameron Sewell's been very good today. Hits the outside corner for a 1-1 count. Sewell did not give up a hit until the 6th inning. Roseburg got 2 singles against him. The righty fires a 1-1 to Corbin. Opposite field, that one down the line, hooking and into the netting by the bullpen for strike 2. Corbin trying to get something going here. Roseburg with just the 2 hits in the game, both in that last at-bat. 1-2, swung on and missed. That ball in the dirt. Corbin will give it a run. The throw down to first will get him, though. And that is strikeout victim number 6 on the day for Cameron Sewell.
Now batting number 6.
1 away. Roseburg down to their final 2 outs. It'll be Jace Wilder as the wind picking up, starting to blow in from left field. Sewell 2 outs away from a complete game shutout. Fires in a breaking ball for strike 1 to Jace Wilder. Today's game brought to you by Dr. Alanson Randall, Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Visit drrandall.com or call them at 541-378-6694. Strike 2, breaking ball. Looked like maybe a bit of a slider there. Hits the outside corner. Wilder has himself an 0-2 count. He's 0 for 2 today with a pair of groundouts. Takes the sweeping breaking ball low and outside. Sewell obviously on the mound. This South Medford team is dangerous. But today they've just been able to put the ball in play. Roseburg is not. Swing and a miss. And there is strike 3. 2-out rally time for the Tribe. And it brings up Parker Burke to try and do it. Burke with a couple of groundouts as well. First pitch is in for a strike. Burke is grounded out twice, third base and second base. Takes the breaking ball low and outside. Today's ball game also sponsored by Abby's Pizza, a legendary pizza tradition. 1-1 delivery by Sewell. Off speed, hits the inside corner. And down to a 1-2 count for Parker Burke. Sewell trying to make this a quick afternoon affair here from Medford. His 1-2 pitch. Ground ball slowly hit towards second. Racing down the line, Burke. The throw by Cope. Plenty of time, and that's the ball game. The South Medford Panthers will get a 3-0 victory on top of Roseburg today to avoid getting swept by the Tribe. South Medford a 3-0 victory as Cameron Sewell pitches the complete game shutout. We'll come back and break it all down for you as Roseburg falls on the road against South Medford 3-0. Back after this 3-minute timeout on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Working from a hot tin shed, Paul W. Klipsch, genius and maverick, designed and hand-built his first commercial loudspeaker with the intention of bringing live music right into your living room. Today, we still make them like we used to. By hand, with passion, with pride. Klipsch Heritage Loudspeakers.
Give Klipsch Heritage speakers a listen at Good Vibrations. Top of the Hill, Northeast Stevens in Roseburg.
Find everything you need to enjoy the outdoors at home or on the road at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our garden center has what you need to create an oasis at home, from patio furniture to plants and everything in between. And whether you're barbecuing at home or tailgating at the game, we stock the best products from Yeti, Traeger, and Weber. Stop by or shop online at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com. At Douglas County Farmers Co-op, we want your four-legged friends to be healthy and happy. That's why we stock a carefully curated selection of pet, equine, and livestock supplies. From the premium foods your pets crave to grooming and show supplies that help you shine in the show ring, you'll find it at Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Our knowledgeable staff are here to help with those tough pet and livestock care questions. Stop by or shop at DouglasCountyFarmersCoop.com.
In baseball, home plate is always 60 feet, 6 inches from the mound. But in life, sometimes your home plate needs to move. If you're planning to move, contact BTB Moving for help. BTB Moving is a labor-only company offering statewide services such as packing and unpacking, loading and unloading, piano moving, cleaning services, and 24-hour emergency services. BTB Moving is an affordable veteran-owned company. Call 541-315-0122 for help with your next move. BTB Moving for all your moving needs.
Final score from Medford. Roseburg falls against the Panthers 3-0. Your final score in this Southwest Conference matchup. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on base for Roseburg today. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 6 men left on for South Medford. Before we take a quick look at recapping this one, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Roseburg Baseball on the Score. Well, it was Cameron Sewell, the star of the day for South Medford, one of the reigning pitchers of the year in the Southwest Conference, and he proved why he was in the running for that award last year and could be in the running for that award again this season. 7 innings worked for Sewell as he picks up his 5th win of the season, 5-1 on the year. He allows just 2 hits over those 7 innings, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. He didn't give up a hit until their 6th inning when Noah Fisk broke up the no-hitter with a single to left field. Austin Takahashi later had a 1-out single to center. Roseburg got a man in second base just twice in this ball game and were unable to push one across against the Panthers. Meanwhile, for Roseburg, Jake Johnson, not a bad outing. He scattered 8 hits, did give up 3 runs here today, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and the 3 runs over the 6 2/3 innings. Brevin Harrison came in, pitched the final out of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout for Harrison in relief. Roseburg, though, just not enough offense today against one of the better arms in the conference as they manage just the 2 hits and cannot capitalize on a man in scoring position in just 2 innings today. In the 3rd inning, James Coleman made his way to second base after a leadoff walk and was stranded there. In the 6th inning, Noah Fisk got on with a single, got to second, and that is as far as he would make it in that inning as well. Meanwhile, South Medford got 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd inning after a leadoff walk to Tristan Malari. He would come around to score 3 straight singles, 3 straight 1-out singles, capped by an RBI single by Cooper Mitchell. Brought in a run in the 2nd inning. And then in the 3rd inning, South Medford would push 2 more runs across. Cameron Sewell got on with a single to right field, moved to second on an fielding error by Chase Wilder, so he was immediately in scoring position. Then a walk by Tristan Malari would put 2 runners on base. A pass ball actually brought in Cameron Sewell before Malari even got on base. Malari got on with the walk, a single by Kyle Cope, and then a single by Tosh Stumpenhaus would bring in another run. So 2 runs in the 3rd, 1 on a pass ball, and then 1 on a single by Stumpenhaus. And that was all the scoring in the ball game. As Jace Johnson, besides those 2 frames where he gives up 3 runs total, he was pretty good and was pretty sharp today against South Medford. They just came through in a couple of big frames to get the win here today. So for Jake Johnson, taking the loss, he falls to 4-2 on the year. And Jake Johnson, he falls to 4-2 on the year. Cameron Sewell again goes to 5-1. As for some of the offensive numbers, we mentioned for Roseburg just 2 hits. Noah Fisk and Austin Takahashi, the only guys with hits in the game. James Coleman, the only other guy to get on base via a walk. Sewell finishes with 7 strikeouts in the game. For South Medford, Cameron Sewell went 1 for 3. Tristan Malari was 1 for 1 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and a single. Kyle Cope was 1 for 3 with a single. Tosh Stumpenhaus was 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI. Sam Thompson was 1 for 3 with a single. Cooper Mitchell 2 for 3 with 2 singles in the matchup. Not a lot of offense today, but just enough for the Panthers to get the win and avoid getting swept by Roseburg here this season. They'll take 1 out of 3 against the Tribe, and now South Medford moves within 1 game of Roseburg in the standings. Roseburg will go to 9-4 in conference play. They fall 2 games behind North Medford in the standings. South Medford now 8-5, sitting in 3rd place, 1 game behind Roseburg in the Southwest Conference standings. It'll be an exciting finish to the conference season here over the final next week and a half. There are 5 games left to go for everybody in Southwest Conference play after the games here today. All right, that's going to do it for us here today from South Medford at Harry and David Field. We do want to say thank you to our sponsors. No Roseburg with no runs today, so no RBIs. Any RBI this season brought to you by BTB Moving, who provides labor services for your moving needs, whether it's in Roseburg, Douglas County, or around the state of Oregon. They've got you covered wherever you need it. They provide the moving services for the labor services for your move. So give them a call at 541-315-0122, or you can find them on Facebook at BTB Moving if you're planning that big move this summer. That's going to wrap it up for us. We'll be back on the air coming up on Saturday when Roseburg's got a doubleheader at Sheldon. There is a 20% chance for rain in the forecast for that one. We will keep our fingers crossed that we are able to avoid the raindrops Saturday and get into against the Irish on Saturday. That is one team that Roseburg still is looking to try and get a series win again. Sheldon won the first game at Roseburg earlier this season, so Roseburg's going to need to sweep to be able to get the series win against the Irish. We'll see how that goes coming up on Saturday. Game 1 starts at noon. We'll have pregame coverage starting at 11:45. That's going to do it for us here from Harry and David Field. We want to say thank you to everybody that helped us get set up here today at Harry and David Field, and thanks to the South Medford Panthers for hosting us here today. As always, a thanks to Athletic Director Russ Bolin, Head Coach Troy Thompson, and the entire Roseburg baseball team for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg baseball here on The Score. Thanks to Brenton Cranford back in the studio for radio production here today, and as always, a thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for today's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. If I stay much longer, that's what I'll be, so we'll sign off now. We'll talk to you on Saturday when Roseburg visits the Sheldon Irish for a doubleheader from Eugene. We'll have the action starting at 11:45. You can catch it streaming live online at 541radio.com and right here on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.